All right. How do we sound?
Yeah, let's establish that. We sound okay? Check, check. 1, 2. Testing, testing. Will there be swearing? Perhaps.
Mic
Perhaps.
check 1, 2. Fuck.
Apparently, yes, there will be swearing.
And that was after I hit record. I don't know if it started recording yet, but
Yeah, it's hard to say. My guess is since you did swear, it started recording right away.
probably. Yeah. Hmm. Let's see. Let me do that. There we go. Nothing.
Nothing what?
Nothing at all.
I don't know. I'm not looking at the stream, so if you're doing
It's
something
better that way.
visual, I got nothing. I'm trying to conserve the bandwidths
Good job.
because I've been told that we're running out of the bandwidths. Granted, I was told that by some idiot on television who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about, so I guess I don't believe it.
Ow. There is still no toilet paper as of when did I go to the grocery store?
Yeah?
Was it yesterday? I don't remember when I went to the grocery store because days all blur together. But whatever day I went to the grocery store, there's still no toilet paper.
Hmm.
I mean, I still don't need toilet paper, but it's still
But
disconcerting that there
it is, it
isn't
is
any.
mildly. Yeah, here's the thing. I have plenty of toilet paper. Like, first of all, before we went on our trip, we bought a bunch of toilet paper because we were just about out, and we happened to be at Target, and we bought the like, giant package because it's cheaper that way. And we're lazy and don't want to have to buy it very often, so we just buy the giant package, like once every like 6 months, and just shove it on a shelf in the basement.
Yep.
So we have plenty of toilet paper. But at the same time, I find it very disconcerting that one day that will run out. And I'm not at all convinced that there will be toilet paper for me to buy on the other side of that. So that's kind of bad. Also, Battle for Zendikar Fat Packs had a free roll of toilet paper inside. And since I bought all of those, I have all the toilet papers. This is a joke that goes way back for anyone who's not
Wow.
a recent. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm sorry, Squee could not be here for that joke. I think he would have appreciated it. I really
He would
do.
have, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
So, hi, chat.
Hello, chat. It is a pleasure to see you there with us tonight.
It's
Oh, all right. Hey,
it's Monday night.
what you having for dinner, Pinball Witch? If I can ask, if you don't mind my being so bold, if you'll share, I'll tell you what I had for dinner.
I'm gonna
I
tell
mean,
you
I'm
what I
probably going to
had.
talk about it anyway, so
I'm gonna
don't
tell you
feel
what I
no
had
pressure.
before you share. I had some turkey and cheese sandwiches I made before my dash shift.
Oh, nice, nice. Hey, good call on the Applebee's chicken tenders. Those are tasty too. Oh, wife made pot stickers. Oh man, if it weren't for the fact that none of us can go there, dinner at Fayen's house. But not only do we not know where Fayen lives, there's probably not enough pot stickers, and we're not allowed to go there anyway. So,
Pretty
ta-da!
pretty sure he's relatively close to you, actually.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, meatball sub. Nice. A homemade meatball sub, or did you get it from someplace? Because when it comes to meatball subs, I like Firehouse. I think they make a good meatball sub. Jersey Mike's makes a really good meatball sub too.
We have both of those in my town.
Like eerily, Fayen, are you like right next door? Because
Let
if
me
you
look.
live in my neighborhood and I did not know that, I am really upset. I mean, we don't really have to talk about where you or I live. We don't need a lot of people to know that. So, are you telling me that it's a good thing these blinds are closed? Because that is a creepy smiley face that it is there. Oh, Wawa. Nice. The Wawa meatball sub. Don't know that I've ever had that.
The fan was coming from inside the house.
Uh, wait. A burst pipe and happenstance. You now have 40 free tortillas? I I'm a little confused by this. Intrigued, but confused. Oh man, now that is just insult to injury, Pinball Witch. I'm just going to add in the audio for anyone who can't see the chat at this time. Pinball Witch says, also sadly, my new Lego set was missing a piece. That is rough beats, is what that is.
That is pretty
Rough
bad.
days. So, hey, I'm going to tell a story about my dinner. Can I do that? I mean, chat can't actually stop me, but I suppose Chewie could.
I mean, I could, but I'm probably not gonna.
So, I don't think we've had a chance to talk much since I got back from my trip. Have I been on since I got back from the trip? I think I was on once.
Yeah,
Is
we
that right?
did. We did one show
Yeah.
after you
Okay.
got back.
Okay. So after the
I
trip,
think.
we were on a 14-day self-imposed quarantine because we had been traveling. And that's what the CDC was recommending. So we just kind of chilled. We really didn't leave the house. I think we left the house once in 14 days, and that was just to go get food. That 14 days is up, but during that 14 days, the state of Michigan, where I am located, issued a stay at home order. Not shelter in place, because that sounds really weird. So we're just stay at home. I think it's Stay Home, Stay Safe is the name of the initiative that we're all under right now. And so if you read the governor's like guidelines for this, it's basically don't leave if it's not essential, like period.
Yeah.
Um, you can go out to like get food. You can go to like grocery stores. You can go out to get pharmacy stuff. So if you got to get like prescriptions, that's totally cool. And you can go out to care for relatives or pets that like you got to go feed your neighbor's dog, that kind of stuff. That's totally cool. But other than that, just don't go out. Like seriously, just don't.
Now
But
you can go outside.
oh yeah. More on that in a minute. But remind me to circle back to that if you would.
Okay.
But it's not just you can only go out like to groceries to get food. They're encouraging you to go get takeout. And I think the reason they're doing that is they don't want all the restaurants to go out of business, which is good because I also don't want the restaurants to go out of business.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nearby here, okay, the greater Lansing area is several communities that all kind of smush into each other. We got Lansing and East Lansing and Okemos and Holt and Haslett and DeWitt and Grand Ledge. We got all kinds of like little cities that all kind of just merge together into like a Voltron that is the state capital.
Would you say it's a pastiche?
I would say it's a pastiche.
I've been trying to work the word pastiche into a conversation for 4 years.
Well, nice. I'm glad I could be here for this, quite frankly.
Also, Fishy Ginger is now following. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel attacked.
Hey, remind me to come back to tape marks as well, since we're on this subject. So let's see now. Things I got to circle back to: tape marks and going outside. So outside tape marks is what I'll write down. Oh, outside tape marks. That will mean nothing to me in exactly now. Okay. So in Grand Ledge, which is one of these communities that are all smushed together, there is a absolutely spectacular taco truck called Ponchos. And Ponchos has amazing Mexican food. Maybe the best Mexican food in the Lansing area, and there's a lot of good Mexican food in the Lansing area. They are permanently in the parking lot of a place called Sanctuary Spirits. And Sanctuary Spirits is a local brewery / distillery. They, by the way, have switched over to making hand sanitizer as well. So if you're all out of hand sanitizer, you can go there, buy some hand sanitizer. But we learned that Poncho's Taco Truck is still open, and we do not want him to go out of business because, oh my God, they're so good. So tonight we went and we got Poncho's. So I had a burrito, chicken burrito from Poncho's. Absolutely delicious. We also picked up some beer from Sanctuary while we were there. So I'm currently drinking just in case. This is just for you, chat, and I guess stream, and I guess anyone else who's watching. This is Sanctuary's Irish Stout. So we picked up a howler of that. Oh, that's nice. So we're trying to support local businesses as much as possible. I think it's our civic duty to do so.
Yeah, I realized a few days ago that I hadn't, in all of this kerfuffle, I hadn't given Don Juan's any money. Don Juan is my favorite Mexican joint ever.
Uh-huh.
And so I went, and they had a sign out that said, wait, like outside, that said, wait here, we'll be with you shortly. And while I'm standing there looking at it with a funny face, all of a sudden this little girl appears, poof, and she's like, you need a menu or do you know what you want? And I went, no, I know what I want. And I told her, she said, okay, we'll be right back. And she went inside, and I'm just sort of standing there outside going, did I miss something? And then I hear like work and see a guy carrying paint buckets in. Don Juan is taking advantage of the fact that they have no customers to
do
like remodel
renovations?
the place. And
Nice.
I'm like, that's smart.
Man, that is turning lemons into lemonade, is what that is.
Yeah.
So hey, I got two more topics, and
All right, go for it.
one of the topics is outside because that came up. I wrote it down right here. It says outside. So there are some major municipalities, including all of Great Britain. Now, don't ask why they would do this in all of Great Britain, where they've said, "Hey, don't go outside." Like, period. You're allowed to like go outside once a day to try and get some exercise. Maybe you can go out to walk your dog, but that's it. Just don't go outside. Stay indoors.
Jesus.
Which I think is kind of crazy because I live in a neighborhood. It's like really nice here. There's big, wide open sidewalks and streets, and there's no traffic because nobody's driving. So if you want to go out for a walk, you can go for a walk and never get within like 30 feet of anybody without any effort.
Did you
So
say
we keep going
nobody's
outside.
driving?
Yeah, because where would they go?
I don't
In
know,
this
dude. Traffic has been insane around here.
Yeah, well, it's because they're all looking for toilet paper. Yeah, so here, there's not a lot of traffic in the neighborhood. I mean, there's never a ton of traffic in the neighborhood because it's a nice, quiet, sleepy neighborhood. But yeah, so now I mean, on a normal day before times. Do you remember the before times? In the before times,
Vaguely?
people would jog in the street rather than on the sidewalk because there's plenty of space and there's not enough cars that you're going to notice. But now it's even fewer cars here. So that's my outside one. I can understand if you're in like, a major city where if you went outside, you'd be like right next to other people all the time because there's not enough outside for the people. Here, the population density is so low that it's fine. We have plenty of space for the people is what we'll say. Okay, the tape X's on the ground thing. Oh, I absolutely adore the tape X's on the ground thing because we did have to go to the grocery store, and they've got the U scan where you can scan out your own groceries, and I love the U scan because I used it before because I didn't like human interaction then, and now I still don't like human interaction, and everybody's icky. So the thing is, they were icky before. The tape marks on the ground are just great because then you're always 6 feet from people, and that's nice.
I saw those for the first time at Chipotle a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, look at that. That's really clever. And because I'm in there all the time, both for myself and dashing, like they sort of know me.
Yeah.
And the lady making my burrito goes, yeah, you can't walk between them. You have to jump. And so I did. And I pulled a muscle in my ass and hobbled out.
Nice.
And she was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's fine. I'm stupid.
Okay, chat, I'm begging you. Somebody please throw some bits for Chewie's ass muscles because that is just great. When we first came back from the trip, we went to the grocery store on the way back into town because we had no food because we'd been out of town. And of course, the grocery store was like just decimated. Like there was like almost no bread anywhere in the store or milk or eggs or any of that stuff. It was all just gone. So now 2 weeks go by. And we go back to the grocery store because, we needed to stock up again because, it'd been 2 freaking weeks. There's now bread, there's milk, there's eggs, like all the stuff that you would normally consume, all that stuff's back in stock. Mm-hmm. But like the stuff that people didn't normally buy, that stuff's now all gone. So like flour, because we thought, we're cooped up. Maybe we'll try to do some more cooking. And so we thought, hey, what if we just baked our own bread? So we went ahead and wanted to go buy some flour and some yeast and some baking powder and baking soda, and we were going to make some bread. It was going to be great. No, flour, we don't have flour because there's just not enough. Do you want like you want like boxed pasta? Yeah, we pretty much don't have that either. But if you want the expensive, like refrigerated pasta, it's right there, right next to it. Yeah, we got those. For reasons I can't understand, stewed tomatoes, those are gone. But I needed those to make. There's a veggie taco soup that we make that's really good. We need stewed tomatoes for that. They don't have those.
Do you have?
So
meat?
it's really weird out there.
Do you have meat?
Not
you personally, I meant grocery stores.
Very, very little meat in the grocery stores.
Yeah, my mom called me. Well,
really
I called
weird.
Mom today because I saw Food Line sent me an email that said, "You got a reward," and I'm like,
We have meat.
I was like, "No, I didn't." And it means I'm doing the Food Line thing where if you spend so much in each uh, department, you get like a
Sure.
few bucks credit. And I'm like, I didn't go to Food Line. Mom went to Food Line because we used the same card. And so I called
Gotcha.
Mom. I'm like, "Did you have fun at the grocery store?" She's like, "How did you know I was at the grocery store?" I'm like, "I know everything, woman." But she said, "Shut up. I don't care how busy it is, DoorDash. I'm busy. I'm doing other stuff." What was I saying? Oh, and she goes, "Would you believe there's like no meat in the meat section?" I said, "I would actually." She said, "There's none. Like we have enough ground beef to last for I don't know another week or so, maybe 9 days. But like I was just gonna get some more, so I didn't have to later." I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "There's no chicken?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know. I think people are afraid they're not gonna be allowed to go to to get food or
Yeah.
something."
Oh, yeah. Okay, Pinball Witch. Now I know what you're talking about. I saw that too. I'd forgotten that it was called the Kaaba. Yeah. And my God, it
Oh yeah,
was
the
just,
completely empty Kaaba.
yeah,
That
that
is
that was
disconcerting.
really disconcerting. It was one of those like the like movies that you see where it's set in like a dystopian future where like everybody's dead and they show you some like, big landmark but it's completely empty. It was one of those things. And it was
Yeah.
like that is just unreal. I saw somebody tweet about it and they were like, my whole life I've never known what the floor looked like, what the ground around it actually looked like, because it's all always so totally covered with people.
Yeah, the Kaaba,
Yeah.
by the way, everyone, is the big mosque in Mecca where every picture you see has bazillions of people surrounding it, and it was empty.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy
But
stuff.
hey, it's not that bad. It's just like the flu, right?
Yeah, hey, we got happy stuff to talk about. Can we talk about some happy
I
stuff for a
thought we
little bit? Or at
were.
least some weird stuff.
Oh, dude. So okay, this isn't quite happy, but it's really bizarre. So speaking of the lack of food, right? I went to a different
Yeah.
Mexican joint for a DoorDash on Friday, and I got an order, had a woman's name on it. Her name was Bibi or Bebe. I don't know how you say that. It's Bebe, you know. And
I'm gonna go with
so
Bebe.
I accepted it and went to the Mexican joint and walked in and I said I have this order. Oh, and I walked in and there's literally one person. She's sitting way over there, and she doesn't like look up or anything. And I walk in, I'm like, "Okay, hi," and I'm just sort of waiting around, and nobody comes out. And the DoorDash thing starts going off, saying, you have to like you have to push a button or something. And I'm going, and I look over at her, she's not moving, and I'm like, she must not work here. And nobody's coming out from the back, and I'm going, the hell is going on? And finally, she gets sick of hearing the DoorDash app just make noise and comes over and starts tapping things. And she goes, "Are you picking up?" I said, "Yeah, I have this order for..." And about the time I said that, I got another one that popped up for the same name, same baby. And I'm like, "Well, now I have two." Well, that's weird. Because they were both, like, full meals. For, like, I think 3 people. I'm like, why would she order 6 meals, but in 2 batches? That's weird. And she said, what was that?
I don't know. I think
One was for Bebe and one was for Bebe's kids.
Baby's kids. Look at Squee.
hey, it's Squee.
Dude, does that mean I should switch over to
I was
the
gonna say, I
three
think you
of
might
us?
have to
If
switch
you
around.
want, I didn't turn on my camera because I know what it'll do to Cluze's face.
Will
And
it
I can't
shrink my
afford to make it
face?
smaller.
Nice.
I mean, go ahead and turn it on if you like, and I'll get it all set up real quick. Yeah, there we go.
Hey, it's Squee. It's good to see you, buddy.
See, it
Now I
made
have-
Cluze smaller. I did that. Now there's
have
all
to go
kinds
over
of stuff
here
on
and-
there. See, look at all those
Yeah.
names.
I feel smaller.
There we go. But this is
Hurrah.
not Monday Night Magic, so let's just get rid of
Take that,
Anyway.
686, part 4.
Okay, but anyway, so the girl who's there, who clearly doesn't work there, says, I think one of those has been canceled. I said, I still have it. She said, well, they ran out of chicken. And I went, I'm sorry, what? A Mexican joint ran out of chicken. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, the manager went to go buy chicken. And I went, he just went to go buy chicken? She's like, yeah. I was like, and let me guess, he's the guy that's running the front end here? She goes, yeah. She's like, I don't even work here. My boyfriend's back in the kitchen. And I'm like, oh.
18%.
And so, long story, slightly less long, I end up calling poor baby 4 times over the course of this. Because the options are, for me, to accept. Now, someone else had come for this order, and they realized they don't have chicken, and so they just said, can't do this order, and left. So DoorDash kicked it to a different driver, who was me. So I went to pick it up, got the second one too, because I was there and it was going to the same place. And so the options were either to say that I picked it up and delivered it and get paid for it even though I didn't, which means this poor woman gets charged twice, or I do the same thing and I say, no, can't deliver it, and it jumps to the next person all night because they, the Mexican restaurant can't cancel it for some reason. Hey, look, Squee resubbed for 20 months. Wow. And like the other option is to try desperately to contact DoorDash to get them to cancel it. So while I was waiting on them to fix the food, I called DoorDash support, and they're like, we're not accepting calls except from merchants because it's high volume and we don't have as many people working. You can use the chat. I said, okay, so I hung up and found how to use the chat support, and it said, you're number 1 in line. I went, yes! And 10 minutes later, I'm still number 1 in line, and no one's talked to me. I'm like,
You're number 1. You're number 1.
And then they bring the food out, and I'm still, and the manager comes back at some point, and he's obviously freaking the fuck out, because he can't stay open without chicken. Like 8 people called while I was standing there. He's like, I'm sorry, we're out of chicken.
Yeah.
Okay. He just hung up. I'm like, And so I can't be like, hey man, could you look at that? And he opens it up and it's like, can't cancel once confirmed. And I went, because some places are just like, yes, 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 just so they get the order. I'm forever getting text messages or messages in DoorDash from another place that's like, such and such's food is ready, so get over there. And I get there and have to wait 10 minutes because it's not ready, but they're just like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
So I figure they just like, yeah. And then they're like, oh, we don't have chicken, but they can't cancel it because they already said yeah. And so finally, this woman is like, tell you what, just bring it to me. Just bring it to me. Just confirm that you got it. I'll pay twice. I will call DoorDash tomorrow when they're not busy and get it all worked out. And I'm like, all right, if you're sure. I just really wanted you to be aware that that's what... She's like, I don't even care. I'm just hungry. We're all hungry.
I think that's kind of where we're at as a people.
And I said, okay. And she was very sweet. Like, she wasn't like, oh my God, just shut up or bring me the food. She's like, you know what? Just don't worry about it. And I'm like, okay. But it was just a really bizarre situation where it's not really anybody's fault that this thing is all fucked up. And I'm just trying to make sure I don't screw anybody. And I ended up getting paid for an order that didn't happen. I told her when I delivered her food, I'm like, if DoorDash has any problem, tell them to call the Dasher and I will back you up, say, yeah, that order didn't happen and all that. And she's like, okay. I never got anything from it, and my amount I made is still the same, so I guess that like $12 or something didn't get subtracted. It was just a weird mess, is what it was.
Bad.
Yeah. 10th Tech says it's hard to be a restaurant when half your menu is no longer on the menu. Not even half. It's like, it's got to be more than that.
I mean, did they also run out of things that taste like chicken?
I don't think they serve snake or gator or.
I mean, clearly, otherwise they wouldn't have had this problem.
Exactly. So yeah. Look, Squee's here. Hey, buddy.
I
It
survived
is
a workday, kind of.
good to see you, Squee.
Yeah. Yeah, I was doing work stuff until about 7:30, somewhere in there.
Ooh.
And then I was like, I'm gonna get away from my computer for at least an hour. So I went for a walk, and it's nice because it feels nice outside and there's no people. Um, and I just went out with like a little mask so that, mostly for the pollen more than anything else. But
Yeah, the pollen is awful around here today,
yeah,
and you're not that far away from me, so.
no, it was mostly for the pollen. Although what I discovered when I was walking is that apparently because all the stores and everything are closing at like 6 or 7, and the restaurants are just like takeout orders, so like the parking lots are vastly empty in the shopping area that I live near. So they're just repaving the parking lot. They're like, no one's here. Infrastructure.
Nice.
Keep people at work. And this is the easiest time to do it. So they're just doing that. And
Like
that's nice.
Dunwood.
I'd kind of like it if people were like fixing bridges and stuff right now, but I'll take it.
Well, that'd be awesome, but yeah, we're not. Don't think we're getting that.
That's not likely where people are spending their budget. I'm sure whoever owns the shopping center is paying to get the parking lot paved, so.
I have noticed the whole, like you say, there's no people. I go out and walk around my apartment complex. There's people fucking everywhere. Just outside, groups of kids running around in packs, and I'm like, okay.
Maybe because I'm in a more blue area than you are. Like,
how do you mean?
Like politically.
Oh, blue politically, okay.
Yeah, the people that were afraid of this for the last month and a half as opposed to the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, none of these goobers out here are terribly intelligent. Like, most of them are decent people, but they're not real bright. Like, one of them had a buddy that had come to visit, and they're sitting outside, and I'm like, all right.
I mean, to be fair, that like I fully acknowledge that there are plenty of people that I know in the more liberal end who also weren't taking it super seriously. That's just a general problem that we have, American exceptionalism and all that fun. But from what I've seen, like when you look at the maps, the areas that overlap with the probably more liberal, probably more educated, all the demographic overlap things,
have fewer cases.
Are getting hit harder by it, maybe because they have more access to testing. So I don't know if it's actually more harder by it.
It's also a matter of population density.
Yeah, and that was the other thing, is population density, which is why New York and LA are a mess.
Blue areas tend to be cities.
Yeah, the consolidation of people makes things spread faster, but also like West Virginia was the last state to have a confirmed case, and I haven't read about it, but I'm pretty confident it has more to do with testing than anything else.
Yeah, that was mostly testing.
So,
I saw a thing the other day, and I forget which country it was, but there was one country in Africa that had no confirmed cases. And they had,
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. And they had, and someone had then called or interviewed like the prime minister, the president. I don't remember exactly what their form of government, whoever was in charge. And they're like, hey,
which country it was.
What exactly do you attribute to you guys not having any cases? And he's like, oh, it's simple. We haven't tested anybody because we don't have any tests. And they're like, oh, well, that explains it.
Yeah.
It's a dead giveaway.
Yeah, sure is. I know we've got a bunch of cases, but they're mostly in the Detroit area. So it's really just the major population center.
Yeah.
Just
like most of the cases in this state are in my area, as opposed to Chewie's. I don't know how Charlotte's doing. I haven't looked recently, but I know that my area has plenty. We also have an international airport, so that might be related.
Could be.
Most of what I know right now is that a large number of my online services have hit capacity and made it hard for me to watch or play anything.
Oh, really?
So when I finally got to my weekend of like, okay, good, I'm done working now. I've done my 50+ hour nonsense. It's time to Saturday. And it's like, Origin is down. I'm like, I don't want to play an online game. Doesn't matter. It's Origin. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just going to go watch stuff on, my streaming services. Oh, it's down. Oh,
Really?
Is
guess
that
I'm
why
going to
you ended up hanging out with me and Mike on stream?
part of it.
Because there's nothing else to do.
Like, well, actually, no, that was before. That was before that. I dropped by there in the middle of the day. I've been making a habit out of exercising since indoors it's like you can't go to gyms or anything. So like I'm just literally walking circles with wireless earbuds in. So I was listening to you guys and occasionally making comments because like I don't know about Hearthstone at all. So I was doing a little bit of that. And I was mostly just making fun of the names and the art. Like it's the equivalent of when you had Sam read cards and stuff. It was like that. But yeah, it was one of those things. So I settled in the evening and like I was going to play Mass Effect Andromeda because I started that game when it came out and I played a lot of it the first year and just I've had less and less time since then. I like the game, but I couldn't get in because even though it's a one-player game with only optional online stuff, you can't launch it if Origin's down. So that's really irritating. Then I went over to Crunchyroll because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch something short, something I haven't seen yet, and I found that the Furikuri FLCL later seasons came out while I wasn't paying attention for the last few years, and like, I wonder what that's like after 20 years of people talking about maybe doing more. So I got through one episode, and then the streaming service went down. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm still undecided. And so I ended up because the PlayStation Network of all things was still working. So I downloaded the Final Fantasy VII demo to see what the big deal was, and it was okay.
Oh,
It
that's
was
a resounding
okay.
endorsement.
I have no desire to go pre-order the game or jump on it in a few weeks when it comes out. Like I'm not there, but I mean, it was neat.
But it didn't make you go, oh.
No. I think its biggest flaw is that it's using the same game engine as Final Fantasy 15 and Kingdom Hearts, but it doesn't have jumping. And as it turns out, a big part of dynamic combat is the ability to hop a little bit. So when you take away jumping, it's really, really awkward. Because you're Cloud and run around with a big beefy sword and you just hit things with it. And like, they tied the ability to use items and spells to an ATB thing where like you get points for hitting things. So you're like, oh no, I'm bleeding. Better hit something until I can use a potion. And that's really awkward. The middle is a little odd on that. Although to credit, they did address one of my concerns because you can swap between Cloud and Barrett because you're just doing the intro mission. And you can freely swap between characters, which I was worried about after playing through other games where you couldn't. So you swap to Barrett and you have the option of standing in place and shooting things, which is about all I expected. I think it would have been more fun if we had a demo mission that had like Tifa in it so I could run up and like beat the dolphin out of people. But I guess they have to save something for when people actually buy the game. So Umpax, you control them into like one at a time, but it's kind of like in Final Fantasy 12 where they'll do stuff on their own if you're not actively controlling them, but you can also pop up the menu and assign them to cast spells and use items and things like that. It's just the bombing mission at the beginning, so there are only 2 characters, and their way of explaining the system to you every step of the way turned into like, there's an enemy way up there. Swap over to Barrett and shoot it. I'm like, okay. And then I swap over to Barrett and I shoot it. They're like, there's an enemy running at Barrett. Swap over to Cloud and hit it with a sword. I continue to shoot it with Barrett and it dies. I'm like, okay. Turns out guns are still effective. But like overall, like it was neat. It's a demo. I don't want to put too much weight on it either way. They changed the plot slightly. So that was the most interesting thing that happened. So that's cool. And like I won't tell anyone about that because presumably it'll be more fun to just discover as you play. But it was a slight change to the plot, and that was neat. And they've fleshed out the characters that are pretty much forgettable, because you've got Biggs, Wedge, and Jesse, and they're actually characters now, as opposed to has 2 chat boxes and then eventually die.
Wait a minute. Are there actually characters named Biggs and Wedge?
In nearly every Final Fantasy game.
Huh.
Like a whole lot of them.
Nice. Shows you how many Final Fantasy games I've played.
Is it 1?
I think it's 1. Yeah. And I don't even remember which one it was.
I think they've been calling them Biggs and Wedge since like 5. I don't remember if they were in 4 or not.
I don't remember a Biggs and Wedge in 4, and I've never played 5. So
Pinball
they're
Witch
definitely
says
in
since 6. They've been doing it since 6.
I know in 6 it's because they're the 2 Magitech dudes with Terra at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then in 7 they're the doofuses from Avalanche. In 8 they're the recurring Galbadia guard dudes who have their funny battles. And so on and so forth. They just kept reusing them.
What? Damn it. Hang on.
Did Chewie disconnect or did we disconnect?
That was my bad.
I think we're
I was
still
trying
here.
to. Hey, Cluze, do me a favor. Tilt your camera back down, would you? Now that we're on this scene, you're sitting way below everyone else. I was trying to go into Discord and type that, and my thumb accidentally grazed across the join call button.
All right. Is that better?
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this better?
Not exactly.
Okay.
Ah!
Silly panda.
Silly panda.
Sorry about that,
yeah.
chat. Didn't mean to freak you out.
The other things that I noticed when I was skimming over the Final Fantasy 7 remake demo were that a lot of the bits of Cloud, like having his weird head problems, work a lot better now that it's not just you hear a heartbeat and the screen goes red and you just get a chat box. Like, you actually see stuff, and it's a little more interesting. So that's nice.
Oh, that's
They're
good.
doing a little more with that. Apparently they're getting summons in this game, so that's weird. Because, like, you didn't get summons till after you left Midgar in the original one. Now that it's not story relevant, it's just, I know that if you buy the game through pre-order, you get like 2 more summons, because that's just how it works apparently. Because
That sounds
welcome
about
to
right.
pre-orders. Like, you get Cactar and Carbuncle.
Carbuncle.
Yeah, Carbuncle is the go-to for you pre-ordered the game or you finished the demo or whatever, have an extra summon.
Good old Carbuncle.
Yeah. But like in the original one, the first summon you get is Joko Mog, and that's well after you left Midgar, so maybe they're trying to show all the game mechanics in the first one, since, you know, who knows how many years before they get another one. But,
Word. Did you watch that video I sent? When we were
I
talking
did
about
not,
it
but I
before?
decided I would play the demo and then I would watch the video. And now
No,
I guess I
fair
get to
enough.
watch the video. I wanted to make my own opinions before I saw things. Yeah.
Word.
That's about it. I'm kind of disappointed that apparently Final Fantasy VII Remake has taken all the development resources that would have gone to 16. Because from what I can tell, they're not even trying to make 16 right now. And given how long it took between like 13 and 15, since I'm not counting the MMO, which they had to launch twice, I don't know how long it'll be till they actually just make a new Final Fantasy game.
All right, Clues, jump in, because Bill's repeating
Yeah.
stuff we talked about last week.
Yeah, that's cool. That's totally cool. It's just I don't play Final Fantasy, so
That's
I
fair.
really got nothing to add here. But I have a thing, and it's going to be a little bit of a wandering story to get us there, because it's me. And,
I was going to say, a Clues wandering story? What?
I know. It's madness. The whole world is upside down.
Like a basking root walla?
So as you know, I play the ukulele. It's kind of a thing.
I do know that.
It's my hobby.
I've heard that.
as such, there are, ukulele communities on the internets that I frequent. And one of those is there's a website called the Ukulele Underground. And they have on their website a forum, like from back in the forum days, like straight up like actual just online forum. But that has been running for, I don't know, like 14 years or something. They are running on very old software. It is in fact vBulletin, if anyone is familiar with vBulletin, and it's vBulletin version 6 question mark. I don't know. It's been around the block. Well, I had been going there quite a bit lately because I'm at home and it's a nice distraction. There are lots of neat conversations going on there.
Okay, that one. Oh my God, it was me, son of a bitch! I didn't even try to open Discord and I did it.
It's happened before. They'll usually
all right,
go
Cluze,
down.
Cluze.
Yeah.
You got to start over from whenever I hung up.
You hung up?
Did you guys not hear it that time?
No.
No.
Because I think we stayed on the call, but I mean, I can start over. Do you need me to start over?
Not like from the beginning, just like the last, I don't know, 10 or 15 or 20 seconds, something.
10 seconds or so? Okay. They went down. The website, the Ukulele Underground forums, they went down. They went offline.
Oh. Why does it keep... Son of a bitch! Every time...
Until somebody renewed that, and then it came
back
up.
All right, wait. It went down. Wait, don't start again. Hang on.
All right.
Every time I open Discord, it disconnects me here and connects me on the phone. But now that I've hung up there, it seems to be good. Okay, so it went down.
It went down. Okay, the Ukulele Underground forums went down a couple of days ago. Okay.
Stupid low-tech crap. Not
this
you,
sort of
the
thing,
Discord.
This sort of thing has happened before in the past, but usually in the past when it happened, it was because they forgot to renew a security certificate. And so it would go down for like a day. They would fix what other crap they had, and it would come back up. Well, this time it was down for like a day and a half. And it was bad, but it finally came back up. But when it came back up, one of the mods is like, yeah, we don't know if we're going to do this anymore because it's really expensive to run and like nobody moderates anymore. So there's like 2 of us and we don't have the funding and this software is out of date. So we think we're going to just shut this down. And in fact, what we're going to do is we're just going to transition over to Discord. So here's a link for an invitation to our Discord. So come on over.
Nice.
Oh my God, did that not go over well? Because most of the folks on the forum. Well, first of all, they wanted a forum, not Discord, and those are not the same thing, like in any way, shape, or form. And most of them are like old retired guys, and they have no interest in learning any kind of a new technology. But I'm like, hey, I've used Discord before. Oh, hold on, I'm being paged.
Paging Dr. Lecluze. Paging Dr. Lecluze.
Why? No.
Hey, Squee.
Oh yeah, sorry, I can't help you.
Hi.
Oh, you muted. Look at you.
I muted because you're having all kinds of issues and I didn't want to contribute.
Okay. Sorry. A healthcare professional needed to ask me a question about access to electronic medical resources. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah. Discord is not really meant for what a forum is meant for. It's not a persistent conversation of threads. It's like, here's a channel that kind of has a loose topic. Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's IRC.
Now drink from this fire hose.
It's IRC with audio is what Discord is.
Yeah. So I was just trying to figure out, and I wanted some input from you guys. Am I understanding Discord improperly? Does it actually do what I want it to do, or does it not? Because I don't think it does.
I mean, it seems to have taken the place of forums for stuff like that.
Except the thing is, it's not a forum, right? Like in any way, it's not like I can start a new thread and then we'll have a conversation about it and that thread stays there forever. It's like
True.
I would have to start a new channel.
True.
But then we would literally have, because there's no like there's no good nesting. You would have like thousands of channels that are just
no, it is not meant for that
conversations.
function.
Why don't they just transition to Reddit then? Because that's all Reddit is a giant fucking forum.
Yeah, Reddit is actually a forum.
How can I say this without sounding mean?
You can't.
Reddit is a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Well,
Depending on the part you're on, yes.
Don't get me wrong. There have been times when on the forum, on the Ukulele Underground forum, I wanted to be able to upvote or downvote posts because somebody said something really stupid. But I don't really think I want Reddit. I don't want to Reddit that up, is what I don't want. And
I mean, you can make a private Reddit.
there is a subreddit for ukuleles. There's actually more than one, but r/ukulele is the one that gets the most traffic. But what r/ukulele mostly is people who are brand new asking what's the best ukulele they can buy. Also, their budget is $45.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it, like over and over and over again. And there are a few people in that subreddit who, God bless them, they are able to answer the same like 20 questions over, 10 questions over and over and over again without just going, that's it, forget it, I'm out. So
I mean, that's kind of how forums work too.
Yeah, except that, so again, the Ukulele Underground forum, there's a lot of folks with a lot of experience in there, and most of them are just happy to go. There's a search box. It's in the upper right. Why don't you try again? And I'm all for it, is what I'm all for, because no one bothers to search Reddit. They just come there and they ask some stupid question that is, the grammar's awful, it's not punctuated properly, and the question doesn't even mean anything.
I think you have a much more optimistic memory of forums than I have.
Mad. No, actually, I'm saying that this is the best forum that I've ever been on.
Mm-hmm.
Is this one?
Okay, because everything that you're complaining about with Reddit is what I remember from every forum I was ever on.
Yes, that's fair. That is totally fair.
Chewie's old forum was a fun place, but it also went from super heavy traffic to like no traffic.
Yeah, it was weird how quickly
it
that
just happened
too.
like in a week.
I don't know if it was quite that fast, but
it was when we all got Twitter. Like Twitter pretty much killed it.
Oh, Twitter! You just reminded me of something. I have a link. I have a link to share. Are you guys ready for a link?
Is it the one you already shared?
No, it's a different one. It's from Twitter, and I know Chewie, you've been avoiding Twitter as much as possible, which is probably very healthy, very, very healthy. But I came across this earlier today on Twitter, and I wanted to share it with all of you. So go ahead, just click on that. You may have already seen it. I don't know.
Wow.
So there's some great stuff going on here. First of all, this is a spectacular Photoshop job. So much so that I was trying to track down where the original edit came from. I was trying to see if I could trace it back. I uploaded this image to Google image search, and all it gave me back was the cover of 2010. Mm-hmm. Because that's what it's taken from and edited from. But first of all, like everything in here is absolutely great in the text, particularly the final line, which is just slayed me. The other thing that's great is this Twitter account who posted this. That's Katharina Kubrick. That is Stanley Kubrick's stepdaughter. Mm-hmm. So it's just like doubly fitting that it's there. So it made me laugh.
Starring every single one of us. 2020 also starring everyday heroes, greedy politicians, toilet paper, entertainment by anything online, making things worse, Donald Trump, based on not listening to scientists and doctors. What's coming next? Cthulhu, probably.
See? Yep, that's where I lost it.
2020, the year we couldn't make contact.
Yep.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was amused. I've passed it on to you.
Well, I just retweeted it.
Hooray.
Good times. Yeah, we're really behind on blowing up Jupiter.
We really are.
Like, we're not even trying.
Yeah, it seems like turning Jupiter into another sun would really have cause issues
Consequences?
for us.
It certainly would.
Spoilers, I guess, for
A book from 30 years ago.
was that 2010 or 2061?
2010 is when Jupiter goes boom.
Okay. Pinball Witch
Like-
threw 10 bits and said, "Is the reason we can't get TP because it's starring in that?" No, no, no. Toilet paper is being talked about more now than it has probably ever since it was invented. Toilet paper is super in right now. It's super popular. It's so popular you can't get any. I still have Africa running through my head from the earlier conversation.
You're welcome.
And also, chat, the reason that I kept hanging up earlier is because I was trying to get to Discord on my phone, because while they were talking, I was working on a thumbnail, and I was going to drop it in the Discord server as always, but I can't do that without disrupting our camera setup here, so I had to send it to myself via Facebook Messenger, download it to my phone, and then put it on there from there.
That's like the current equivalent to when you ran your DVD player through your VCR and you hoped your VCR and DVD player were not aware and thus let you do it. Because from the old era of my TV doesn't have these hookups, but my VCR does, my DVD player will run through the VCR and maybe have a terrible rippling effect to disrupt anyone trying to record off their DVD player.
Weird.
Because our biggest fear was that people were going to use VHS to rip off DVDs.
Yeah,
That's where we were.
I was really afraid of that back in the...
Mostly it annoyed those of us who bought a PS2.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what?
It rippled through console games too.
Weird.
Like, I used the same TV until, like, we started getting HD TVs. So, yeah. Yeah.
So would blowing up, or would turning Jupiter into a smaller sun have any adverse effects on us?
Yeah, because the only way
Yeah.
to make that happen would be to increase its mass by a couple of orders of magnitude. And that's kind of going to alter things in the solar system.
It's cool, Cluze. There were black bars of space.
Yeah, I still don't know where they're getting all that mass from, honestly.
Okay, so
From
if you
other
ignore that part and just
If you know the process of getting it.
yeah, and just the having ignoring the gravitation part.
Okay.
Would just having another sun just
kind of a
suddenly
big deal.
appear have major like
I
environmental
imagine-
consequences?
It would depend on its luminosity, really.
I would suspect that wildlife at minimum would be super confused.
Since it's
I mean, they're
Jupiter, it would
they're
have
confused
probably
by our
not very
lights.
much luminosity, right?
Yeah, because it's not nearly big enough to actually be a star. Like, nowhere even close.
Yeah, but we're ignoring
uh,
that part.
Let's put some numbers on that, shall we?
It's just it's a thought experiment, Cluze.
Yeah. But I've already thought about it, and yeah, we need more mass. Like,
Okay, but
lots more.
we can't stop there. We have to keep going. So just ignoring the mass part. Like if you give it, just assume that
Well,
we could
then-
give it enough mass and somehow it wouldn't screw up gravitation everywhere. It's like assuming a spherical cow, Cluze. Just if we gave it the minimum amount of mass for it to ignite, what sort of star would it be? Cluze is busy punching in numbers and can't actually talk.
Mm-hmm.
Or is he muted? Oh, he's muted.
Somehow.
Cluze, why are you muted? Well, this is awkward.
Cluze has actually left and just has a looping video.
That seems like something Cluze would do, actually. Now he's leaned back. What is going on over there?
The video loop is becoming more convincing because he's doing other actions.
Do you think... Cluze, can you hear us?
I think Cthulhu is happening. It was foreseen.
I think Cluze's internet just shat itself.
Could be. Now he is frozen or holding still to see which one lasts longer.
I'm confused. Hang on, let me send him a message. Oh, Andy's gone. Oh God!
Hi.
Giant Squee face.
It's me and my balloons. Wow, the fact that I said that while I had ice cream was gross. I apologize.
All right, let's.
No, Cluze did that. The thing said Cluze. Cluze did it. Cluze is doing.
Let's go back to this and then get you off of full screen.
Aha.
There we go.
Now I'm still oddly placed. Huh?
It's always something around here.
Wow, were you guys having tech stuff before I got here?
No, I get the feeling that the bandwidths around Cluze are no longer available.
Stop all the downloading.
Right?
I think if you want to continue the thought experiment when Cluze gets back, it might be better to say, what if a light source of the smallest possible star were, where Jupiter is? How would that affect things? And then you could go into a heat source and then other individual criteria, because if you just ask him to ignore one thing, it's going to break him.
Delicious cake. I mean, you think he'd be better at that, since in all physics you're assuming something.
Yeah, the spherical cow stuff.
Yeah.
I bet it's someone's awesome screen name. I hope they play Roadhog.
Also, why do you have... Okay, on last week's you didn't have this little gray bar here beneath you.
I assume you were cropping it differently?
No, because I switched it back over to the same scene we used last week. Like, I just had to redo Cluze's, but I figured it's because he had, like, this wide-ass camera. But now yours is different. And I don't think it's you. I think it's a Discord thing.
I mean, probably. Do you have any Discord updates or pop-ups or something that would move it?
I mean, Discord might have reformatted something. Who knows? Let me just... there we go. All better. No, not all better.
I'm in a box.
There we go. All better. Oh, well.
Well,
hey,
Pinball,
buddy.
I'm glad someone is blurring them, because they're not going to blur themselves.
What are we blurring? What? The lines?
I mean, kind of. Go back to eating my ice cream. I'm not banned from Tumblr. I never went to Tumblr to start with.
I'm
like, I take like every third social media thing. Like, I didn't do MySpace. I didn't do Tumblr. Like, I've done Twitter. I've done Facebook. Back when Facebook was actually like the college yearbook. Like, I still have it, but like that was why I got it.
Sorry, I just watched the
Friendster.
clip.
Nah. Is it my giant ice cream mouth?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Awesome. Excellent.
That's pretty good.
That is captured forever.
Cluze says he's still getting snippets of audio from us.
That's suspicious.
According to this, he's not even on Discord.
I did have a live journal. It was not used much, but I did have one. So I guess that counts. I dumped off of that when it became abundantly clear that Russia was just using it for data mining.
That's bizarre.
I didn't do. No, I never had a Zonga. I never did.
I've never even heard of Zonga. What the fuck is a Zonga?
It's probably an X-Men villain. Um, but
Oh, you're right. Oh yeah, they were in. It was in Generation X.
what wasn't?
Yeah,
Um,
all right. I just read. So I'm going through my comics, like my long boxes, and just pulling stuff. Like I'm not going through my long boxes. I'm starting at the front of one box and just reading through all of it.
yeah.
And I just read Generation X 1, 2, 3, 4 last night. It's really
But did
weird
you watch the movie?
because because Generation. I did watch that back in the day though when it was live.
I
But
haven't
Generation
downloaded.
X went 1, 2, 3, 4, and then got canceled for 4 months for the Age of Apocalypse. It only
Right.
got 4 issues in before they shut it off for 4 months.
That's how Marvel do, man.
Now, granted, after the Age of Apocalypse, they picked it right back up at 5.
Sure.
But still, that's really weird. Because I was like, I wonder why I stopped collecting this, because I was enjoying the story. And I realized it's because after I collected all of the Age of Apocalypse, I think I was done with X-Men comics for a good long while.
That's fair.
In fact, forever. I think that's the last big X-Men thing that I collected.
Like I remember when Marvel managed to release 5 #1 Spider-Man comics in 2.5 months because they were doing
That's impressive.
the end of the Clone Saga stuff where they swapped over to Scarlet Spider for a while. So all 4 comic book things swapped over to being about Scarlet Spider. So they all got #1s. And then they all got #2s. And then they're like, well, we're tired of this nonsense. So we're going to swap back to Spider-Man. But we're going to retire like Web of Spider-Man and replace it with Sensational Spider-Man. So that we can still have 4, but we can start yet another #1.
Yeah, because back in the day, there was Amazing, which was the long-running one.
Yep.
There was Spectacular, which was the second long-running one.
Yep.
There was Web of, which was the third long-running one. And then there was Adjectiveless Spider-Man, which was McFarlane's baby at first.
They started calling it Peter Parker Spider-Man after a while, didn't they?
Did they? I don't know. That's after I stopped reading.
One of them. I don't remember.
And yeah, I remember
so they had
seeing
those 4.
Sensational Spider-Man at some point and being like, oh, I think I might actually have #1 in a box somewhere.
I bet it has a hollow cover.
No, it had that new costume that didn't last very long.
No, that costume didn't last long. I liked it at the time. I can see why people think it's tacky now, but at the time I was the right age to like it. I think the thing that I liked about it was the fact that Scarlet Spider's web shooters were cooler than Spider-Man's. And it always bugged me that when they decided they were just cleaning house, they didn't keep some aspect of that. Because like they were a bit, bulkier, so they couldn't go into the costume, but it had different kinds of webbing on it. Yep, that's a version of it.
I was gonna say, this isn't. Where's the
Nope,
alternate?
you gotta look at the alternate covers.
Oh, gotta click expand. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this is the one I have. And that costume, which it's pretty cool. It's a really nice update to the classic duds, but it didn't last for. I think it's too much blue.
Yeah, it's a bit more. It's kind of like when they redid Superman's costume. Just a whole lot of blue in the legs is distracting. When half of his jumps are like, bam, crotch punch. Because that's just how Spider-Man fights. But like, I like the web shooters on the outside thing. I just think it looks neat. But like he had stingers that he could shoot out of it, which were pretty cool. And they had these things called impact webbing, which are these little like marbles of web, and when they hit things, they explode outward and wrap around it. So that was pretty neat too. They sort of turned the stingers into just a thing Peter Parker could do when they did the weird other storylining, just gave him more powers. But that was also when they're trying to give him organic webbing because he had to become Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man for a while. So that was weird in and of itself.
Cluze, are you actually here, or is this just some weird artifact?
I think Cluze has to get like 6 more levels of res before he has enough polygons to be himself.
Man, I hate that game.
I like the music. It's fun to pull up res and listen to people playing it who are good at it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's
Dude,
neat when that
Mike
happens.
used to come over, and like if we'd go get Mexican food or something and come back, I would always have to poop, and I'd come back and he'd be playing Res. Like
It's only got like 5 levels, but I like it. It's
yeah,
just
he was
hard.
way better at it than I was. I suck at it. And we
Like,
got giant bill face again. Okay.
bah,
It's always something around here.
bah. In answer to the chat question, I watched Venom. I'm not going to say it was a great movie, but it was part of my flight to Japan, and it was okay. Mostly it was watching Tom Hardy act like he's from a 90s sitcom. Or not a sitcom, but like a 90s comedy. And it worked okay for that. I didn't actually like the portrayal of Venom, but I've accepted that I'm probably never going to like a portrayal of Venom in a movie. So here we are.
Oh, the 5-part X-Men crossover when Magneto ripped the metal off of Wolverine's skeleton was that Fatal Attractions?
I don't remember. I remember the comic. I just don't remember what it was called. It was one of those things that felt like it would have been done 20 years sooner, but the 90s was when we actually got edgy enough to have people use their powers for maximum damage.
Yes, that was Fatal Attractions. I have one of the issues of Fatal Attractions, X-Force, because I was collecting X-Force for a very long time.
I mostly collected Spider-Man because that was my go-to thing at the time. I had Spider-Man and I had Sonic the Hedgehog Archie comics. Those were what I collected.
Nice.
No one is surprised. I collected Spider-Man comics because I came into comic books around the time the animated series came out. So that sort of got me hyped into it. And it was a bit of a jump from the animated series to the comic books because that was during the Clone Saga. So you want to get confused? Yeah. You go from watching the cartoon to suddenly like, this is Kane. He's super badass. He killed Dr. Octopus. I'm like, well, that was hardcore. And it was the 90s for years. 10 of them. But like comic book wise, the Spider-Man storyline that was supposed to be like 3 months went for 2 years and it showed. So
yeah, there wasn't a Generation X in Fatal Attractions, at least not a core. It might have been like a side story, but there's an X-Factor, X-Force, X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, Wolverine, and Excalibur. I don't even think Generation X was around yet, was it? When was
Generation X was mid-90s, so I mean it might be a little before that.
When the hell was this? 93.
Okay, this might have been a little before Generation X.
Generation X? No, the comic. Generation X is
the movie pictures
from
keep coming up.
94, yeah.
So my favorite thing about the existence of the Generation X movie is the fact that they're using the same mansion that they used in the later X-Men movies. And in Arrow. And in Smallville. And in a bunch of other stuff. Because it's just the one castle mansion place in Canada that is very easy to rent out for film. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even...
I wonder if we'll ever see Cluze.
Yeah, like, the mid-90s is about the time I gave up on X-Men comics and possibly comics completely. Because, like, I realized I have no idea what any member of Generation X did later. Like, did they all disappear?
That does tend to happen.
Like, I have no idea because I just never...
I think most comic book fans hit the point where, like, something disillusions them. And
for me,
like,
it was the giant company-wide crossovers that happened every 6 months.
That just became the norm.
And I'm like I don't have the money or the interest in following all of this crap.
Yeah, like, it was expensive, but also, like, it meant that the stories didn't resolve very quickly. And most comic book stories are not actually good enough to take multiple months to tell.
Yeah, like I remember I bailed on I bailed on X-Men right after the Age of Apocalypse, which was a brilliant thing and super ballsy.
Yeah.
For Marvel to do. And then whatever, there was another big like company-wide crossover after that, and I realized they're just gonna keep doing this. And
Did you make it to Onslaught?
No, Scott did all of Onslaught, but I
Wow.
never did. After it was all over, I got him to sum it up for me, and I went, "Yeah, that sounds about right."
Professor X and Magneto did the fusion dance, and then they killed a bunch of heroes who got their own little side stories, and then it got undone, and the end.
Pretty much, yeah.
Most of what I remember from the 90s when I stopped liking comics was very directly tied to the fact that, like I said, I was a Spider-Man person, and the Clone Saga was something that like I acknowledge was bad, but I enjoyed it because I was the right age to enjoy it. So I liked it. And when they got to the end of the Clone Saga and it became abundantly clear that they'd written themselves into several corners and they weren't willing to commit to any of the changes they made, so they just started ham-fisting undoing everything. I'm like, well, I sure did read comic books for 2 to 3 years and none of that matters now.
Ooh. Another thing I read last night was Spider-Man Unlimited, because that was a thing. There were several Unlimited comics that were quarterly, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, I think, which has one story about vomit, one story about Ben Reilly, one story about Peter Parker, and one story, I think it was Mary Jane.
Yeah, as the person who liked Ben Reilly more than Peter Parker, that entire year was rough on me.
I mean, that whole storyline, though.
I mean, I get it. Like, the thing is, people hate on the Clone Saga, but how many dumb Spider-Man storylines have we gotten since then? Like, the Clone Saga didn't end with him making a deal with the devil. It didn't involve Dr. Octopus taking over his body. It didn't involve another, like, Spider-Person show up whose main effect is whenever she and Peter are around each other, they have to bang. Like, the Spider-Man comics have been a mess for a while, but the Clone Saga is where they put all the hate.
Well, you see, I think they put all the hate there because it was the first one that was really stupid. Like, oh, by the way, this guy that you've been following for years, that's not Peter Parker, that's the clone. Yeah. And then they, like, switched places, and everybody started doing this, and it was awful and stupid, and they just tried to do it to shock people.
Well, I think the goal was, at the time, Marvel was still priding itself in the fact that, like, DC does a reboot every once in a while when they've advanced their characters too far.
Every 4 to 7 years, I think.
Something like that,
at that point.
Whereas Marvel didn't. And so Marvel was like, well, we kind of want to give Peter Parker a happy ending. So we're going to let him lose his powers, and he can retire without any feeling of guilt with Mary Jane, and they can go move somewhere else and have kids. And then we can follow this other guy who has the same backstory as Spider-Man, who is going to be Spider-Man. And it's new. We have a new supporting cast, you know, new people. It's neat. We can do something that's different from the last 20 years. And comic fans hate it when you change stuff. So they lost their minds. And they're like, oh, right. Let's dig out the Green Goblin. He's only been dead forever. And let's have him kill the clone, and let's get rid of the baby, which they never resolve where it went.
Wait, who is that Green Goblin?
Norman Osborn.
Oh, right. I forgot they brought Norman back right around then, didn't they?
They brought Norman back to end the Clone Saga.
Ugh.
Because he had been dead since the 60s. Like, the Clone Saga on top of... Like, when he came back as the Clone Saga, they decided we're just going to make him our Lex Luthor now. And so that's what they did.
Because he became president, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Did he become president, or did he just... I know he took over S.H.I.E.L.D. for a while.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I know Lex Luthor was president. Oh, Norman Osborn was president in Earth X. That's what I'm thinking.
That makes sense. Like, they just sort of turned into that. But like the idea was that, and then Peter Parker can lose his powers and retire with his wife. Like we don't have to kill anyone. If he gets to retire without his powers, he's fulfilled like power and responsibility, and he just moves off with his supermodel wife, and life is great for him. And one comic book character ever can have a happy ending. And
oh my God! Look, Cluze is back for real this time.
they decided they couldn't do that. Huh?
Which one gets the happy ending? You said that.
Well, for about 3 months, it was Peter Parker.
Oh.
And then the
fair.
comic book fans complained, so they killed his baby and took him back. And by killed his baby, I mean had his wife have a miscarriage. But then it was revealed that Norman Osborn stole the baby, and then they never mentioned the baby again in the last 25 years.
Thankfully.
The baby grew up to be Spider-Girl in an alternate timeline. And then
really?
Spider-Verse happened, and she got to visit for a little while after they killed her family. Because Marvel really likes killing families. Ugh.
Yeah. You know what? If you really want to read some depressing stuff, read some old What If comics.
Some of them are pretty dark.
Dude, I've got a whole mess of What If comics, and like the vast majority of them are just giant bummers. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then at the end, the Watcher's like, aren't you glad that didn't happen? And I'm like, I kind of wish I hadn't read it. I kind of wish they didn't write it.
It's because the Watcher is trying to be like Rod Sterling.
That's what he was, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, now that's just one thing that could have happened. Aren't you glad it didn't happen to you? And I'm like, yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay, wait a minute. There's a statement in chat that just blows me away. Someone just said, I don't think I ever read comics.
I mean, that's probably fair.
Do you not know if you ever read comics?
Look, time is
wait
an
a minute.
illusion, Chewie. No
Like,
one
it's
truly
fine if
remembers
you
what they've
didn't
done in
read
the past.
comics, but if you don't know or not, that's a little disconcerting. You don't remember? Have you had a head injury? Are you okay? Like, huh. I'm concerned.
It's okay, Chewie. They were reading it for a friend. It's fine.
They read the comic, but they didn't inhale. Like,
Yeah, like it was just passing in front of them, and they're like, "Oh, I see some frames. I see some art. Oh God, words! Ugh. I thought it was an art book."
oh God.
Um,
Is Jean Grey still a thing in X-Men comics? I have no idea.
Well, I know they did the Phoenix Force thing a little bit ago, which means that inevitably they had Jean Grey again. That's just how you do. But
Ooh,
yeah.
Gloppy Rock said, so I read all of Grendel and Dreadstar. I don't know Dreadstar, but Grendel is some weird stuff.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. I've always wanted to read some Grendel. I've only got Grendel Prime. What the hell is that called? War Child.
Huh.
Right? Is that what it's called?
Probably.
I don't see it. I know it's up there.
With regards to the comment on trying to read manga and getting bored,
There it is.
I am bored out of my mind by action manga. Like, I can't follow the action. It's black and white, so it's not very dramatic most of the time. And usually it's you read the bubble and then try to figure out what happened in the fight, because most of the time they don't actually do it like American comic books. So you just sort of get the frames. So when they animate it, it gets really cool. Like for comedy, for drama, manga's great. For action, it does nothing for me.
Did you ever read comics, Cluze?
Oh yeah, a time or two.
Are you back, by the way? What happened?
I am back. As to what happened, I have no idea. I was talking to you guys. You asked me some questions about Jupiter and its mass and turning it into a star and what would happen. And I went to look something up. So I opened a new tab. Now, I normally have tons of tabs open, right? But I only had 8, maybe 10 tabs open. And that's really low for me.
That
But
was a
when
small
I
number of
opened that
tabs.
tab, everything stopped. My mouse stopped moving. I couldn't do anything on the screen. You guys started to robot, and then I'm going to call it frame dropped. So I would get like a syllable, and then like 3 seconds later, I'd get the next syllable, and then 3 seconds after that, I get the next one. And then eventually, even that stopped. And then the weirdest thing happened. Eventually, my mouse cursor would move a little bit, and then I would hear something you guys said like 2 minutes ago.
Okay, so Cluze.
Yeah.
We asked you what would happen. We didn't ask you to gaze into the monolith and observe the infinite cosmos and time dilation.
Well, if
I know it might be on that extra tab, but don't do it.
Yeah.
No one has enough RAM for that.
Yeah. Did you guys ever
so,
come to a satisfactory conclusion for what would happen if we turned Jupiter into a star?
We tendered it away because you're the qualified person to answer it.
And we were so amused at the way in which, because you
should watch a recording of you disconnecting later.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Did I freeze and then suddenly be in a different position?
Yeah, and you were still talking, but there was no audio, and I'm like, Cluze, you're muted. And you never looked up, and I'm like, Cluze? And then you would muted. You would be here, and then
I can't see you, so.
Oh, yeah, you can't. Well,
so
chat
the funny thing with it, Cluze, is that you continued trying to talk for a little while, so we sort of paused. And then we were questioning whether or not you were actually just so offended that we told you to leave out the mass part that you just sort of turned and you looked away off in the background like you didn't want to have anything to do with us. And then you froze. So that was pretty great. You're like, I can't only partial science. And that was great.
I can't. No, you're right. I can't, because part of what Chewie wanted me to do is just, it's unacceptable.
And then you said you were still hearing snippets of it. I looked at Discord, and I'm like, you're not even on Discord.
Yeah. You were clearly transmitting from another galaxy or something.
Okay, so let's get to brass tacks here. Let's actually talk about turning Jupiter into a star, shall we?
Sure, why not?
Let's take this to where it will. So, first of all, what does it mean to be a star? To be a star, you have to be able to have enough mass to have a high enough pressure and temperature at your core to sustain the fusion of hydrogen.
And you have to have a certain number of Instagram followers.
And the lowest mass that you need to do that is about 0.08 times the mass of the sun. For Jupiter to get that massive, you'd have to increase its mass by a factor of like 80. So 80 times the mass of Jupiter to actually pull that off. Jupiter is already like 2.5 times more massive than like the rest of the planets in the solar system combined. If you suddenly made it 80 times as massive as it is, that would have terrible ramifications for the orbits of everything else in the solar system. So that's just a bad idea. Now, let's say that we can somehow magically take a Jupiter that is the size that it is right now, is the mass that it has right now, and we'll somehow make it fuse like a star. Let's do that.
As sufficient monoliths of questionable science, yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, I should also note, because somebody pointed out that this factor of 80 is less than they thought it was. That's to make like the crappiest star you could ever think of, first of all. And I'm using some pretty round numbers here.
Yeah, this is like the store brand star that comes in the bag. It doesn't get the whole cereal box.
Yeah. This is exactly like that. Yeah,
this is like some Fruit O's.
Pretty craptacular.
Fruit O's.
And fruit is spelled F-R-O-O-T.
No, that's the good one.
Oh man, worse than those.
Yeah, it's
fruit
literally
F-R-U-T-E.
So, suppose that we could somehow make it glow. How well would it glow with the mass that it has now? The answer is not very. Not very at all. Because even that crappy star that we just made, it's like a teeny tiny red dwarf. It's not very bright at all. I mean, it would look kind of bright in the nighttime sky from Earth, but it probably wouldn't be all that, is the way I will describe it. Also, let's say that we're starting to pump out a bunch more radiation pressure from there. I think it may actually perturb the asteroid belt, and you kind of don't want to do that. Because it already does, just by being where it is, it already does. If you suddenly made it 80 times more massive, that would do very bad things to the asteroid belt. Which most of the things which have struck Earth are because Jupiter perturbed objects in the asteroid belt. So overall, I think it's a bad idea, is what I'm going to say. Just
Thanks,
overall.
Zeus.
Now,
Always
at the same
messing everything
time,
up.
even though it's kind of the reason most of the crap has hit Earth, it's also prevented a bunch of crap from hitting Earth because it's such a large target in the solar system from a mass standpoint that lots of crap just fell into Jupiter instead, or it became moons of Jupiter,
buffer.
for that matter. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you know, in...
it's our lightning rod.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, in games like... See, I don't think you ever do in Galaga. You know, those like top-down games where you were like an airplane shooting other airplanes. You know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like 1942.
X.
Yeah. You know how you would occasionally get a power-up that gave you a little shield that just spun around you and would block things occasionally?
Yeah.
It's like we have one of those. Just one big one of those. So.
Nice.
There you go. Don't make Jupiter a star. It's a bad idea.
Fair enough. What if we get confused and we just read the books and so it's Saturn? Even crappier star.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was that about books and Saturn?
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, and in the book for 2001, they're going to Saturn, not Jupiter.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That would also be a pretty bad idea.
They use Jupiter to slingshot to Saturn. They understandably condensed that for the movie.
Yeah. Would Pluto survive? Probably. Pluto's really far away.
Pluto has to stick around so that we can make Mass Effect happen.
Yeah, also, Pluto does not care what we call it, just to be clear.
Quick interruption. Do you guys hear anything new coming from me?
No.
I mean, not in years, quite frankly.
Eat a piece.
Zing!
Yeah, he took the hit.
Because the maintenance guy fixed my air handler today.
Oh, neat.
And now that
is fixed in quotes.
Do what?
Is fixed in quotes here?
No. He fixed it. It was dripping water, so now it is not. But he said he was.
Dude, you got rid of free water?
Oh my god. He said it was like clogged up or something. And then not long after he left, I heard this, and I'm like, what? And I got up to go open the door and like see what the hell, because it was way louder than usual. And I walked past the noise and I went, wait, what? So I came back. It was the vent. Because this vent is now blowing harder than it has in years. So hard that it makes a noise now. And so I didn't know if the mic could pick that up or if it was blowing on it and making a sound or anything.
No, it's not. Could you simulate that again? Are you sure you don't want to make an ASMR channel?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
This is a callback to before the show.
Wait, hang on. I don't know how that sounds to you, but
it didn't sound like anything at all, quite frankly. I mean, there's a problem with using Discord for ASMR because you've usually got a threshold that if it goes below that, you don't hear anything.
That's why you say it loud, but still try to emulate the low voice like they do in cartoons.
Also, there was a question in the chat about what I'm drinking. They missed the story earlier, so I am drinking a Irish stout from a local brewery called Sanctuary Spirits. So, cheers.
I'm drinking, well, nothing because I ran out, but it was black cherry flavored water.
I'm drinking Diet Coke out of a Wendy's cup I got before the quarantine.
Okay, that's weird.
Wash it.
That is kind of
That's
strange.
Also weird.
This thing is going to be on this planet longer than I am. I'm going to use it more than once.
Fair. Hey, can I...
Wait, Gloppy Rock said, is it a great brewery and should we check it out?
Actually, it is a great brewery and you should check it out. again for other folks who might have missed the story earlier, they, like many of the breweries and distilleries here in Lansing, have switched over to making hand sanitizer to correct the great hand sanitizer shortage of 2020. Um, could I ask a question, Chewie?
Of me or of Stream?
Yeah, of you. Of you.
Sure.
Okay, but look, Pinball Witch, it's a good sales pitch, quite frankly. And I only use it for stuff I really do truly feel good about. Are you gonna post this on YouTube later?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because I've got a PSA, and I think it's an important PSA.
Wait, Pinball Witch through 5 bits. It says Cluze has one sales pitch, but it's a great sales pitch, and you should check it out.
You should check it out. Bravo.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that's just great.
That was a well spent nickel.
Yeah, that was totally well spent. Oh, I'm glad I was here for that. This is an important PSA, and I think that it needs to get out to the maximum number of people possible, quite frankly. So I know a lot of schools and universities have now gone online only. And as someone who is now teaching online, I have a request for all students out there. Technically, I had this request before we went online only, but now that we are online and all of our communication has to happen online, I really, really desperately need you to do this. Most of your professors teach more than one class. Some of them only teach one, maybe two. Some of them, like this poor bastard right here, teaches 4 of them. So when you email your professor, make sure that there's enough information in your email that they know what the hell class you're asking about. Even if they only have to pick it up from context, don't make it so they have to go and open up the roster for all of their classes to figure out which class you're asking about. Because that just makes more work for them, and it makes them very upset, and it makes them much less likely to actually answer your email tonight.
Yeah, always start with, "Hi, Professor, I'm in your class."
Exactly.
It's not that hard.
Particularly since that request was in the syllabus at the beginning of the semester, and I asked you to do that on the first day of class.
Cluze, did you print out those syllabi?
I don't print out syllabi anymore.
Yeah.
That means no one saw it.
I know, it's just on the course webpage, but it's right there.
And if you had printed it out, only like 4 people would have seen it.
If you had printed it out, it would now be toilet paper.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, while I was down, I took the time to answer some emails from some students who didn't tell me what class they were from. So that was great.
When you just start replying like they're in a class that they're not in, and make them clarify.
Swearing. I will tell you.
Ah, yes, you're from my juggling class. Tell me, have you made your way up to knives yet?
Remember, there will be a practical involving chainsaws.
You don't have to turn it on while you're practicing, but I'm expecting a real show when you get graded.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, that's my PSA. Don't try and make things harder on your prof. Because in the end, they are giving you a grade at some point.
In theory.
You will be weighed and measured.
And found lacking.
Man, A Knight's Tale is such a great movie.
It's way better than it should be.
Oh, yeah.
Like, by a long ways. I remember seeing the trailer for that thing. That's dumb. And then actually seeing the movie like 10 years later, I'm like, wow, that was really good. So misleading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like, I don't know, I don't think it has anything to do with that movie specifically, but I really love Paul Bettany and who's the other guy? Actor.
Like in Knight's Tale?
Yeah, freaking Alan Tudyk, thank you. Yes.
Oh yeah.
I really love both of those guys. And like basically everything I've ever seen them in. I just finished.
I was sitting there and I'm like, are you forgetting Heath Ledger? I don't think you're forgetting Heath Ledger. Like,
no, not Heath Ledger. I could see Alan Tudyk, but his name would not come to me.
God, yeah.
And yeah, Heath Ledger, of course. But like 10 Things I Hate About You, also an excellent movie with a very young and sexy Heath Ledger. But what was it? Yeah, I just watched. I just finished Manhunt Unabomber on Netflix, which has Paul Bettany as Ted Kaczynski, and he's really good. Also had Sam. Why can I never remember his name? The guy from Avatar. Damn it!
Oh, he was in Dark City. That is a great film.
What? Who's the Worthington? Thank you, Pinball. Yeah, Sam Worthington is the main
Avatar,
character
so I
of
believe you.
Manhunt Unabomber. And yeah, Rufus Sewell. Shinra. Yeah, Rufus Shinra. Yeah, he's really good. I liked him as the bad guy there, and I've only ever seen Dark City twice, 1,000 years ago, and I really want to see it again because I remember loving. Like, it was Matrix before the Matrix.
Yeah,
but it's never streaming anywhere. And that makes me the sad Chewie, because I want to see it again to see if I still love it.
I'm pretty sure I can send you a DVD, because I think I have it on both Blu-ray and DVD.
Dark City.
Oh, which reminds me, Pinball Witch, I still need to send you a thing. I haven't been able to get to the post office because I was in, quarantine.
Oh, it's streaming on Vudu. Can I download Vudu to a Fire
It's
Stick?
right here. It's waiting to go. I will send it as soon as the governor says it's okay for me to go outside.
Bet you wish you had drones now, don't you, Cluze?
Wish I had my own what?
Drone?
I don't know if drones will go that far.
No, just in the mailbox.
Oh. I was hoping to build
videos of people walking their dogs with drones, and that's amazing.
I was thinking of building a giant trebuchet to just launch things to people.
You might run into several problems with that plan.
Newton's trebuchet. That's a Newton's cannonball reference for all of you.
I want to reach the Secret of Mana level where transportation is just done via cannon. No matter where they are in the world, bam, cannon, you're there.
Chat asked, to people or at people? I mean, at this point, it's the same thing. With the trebuchet.
I want to say towards.
I wonder if Secret of Mana makes for a good streaming game.
Secret of Mana? Probably.
Yeah.
I did not know that
running around
Roger
and punching
Ebert
things.
liked
Yeah,
Dark City
and it's
that
also
much.
cooperative, so you have like multiple people to actually interact.
So, no, go ahead.
Oh, it's just because and then like Seiken Densetsu 3 is amazing for streaming, I'm sure, but you would probably have to do the grinding like off screen.
Yeah, that's a Cap thing. Cap will play a game and he'll like play through story.
Yeah.
Like I know the Pokemon games, he does this, and then off stream he'll like grind, and then the next stream he'll go back to the story, and I'm like, that sounds awful. I'm not doing any of that.
I mean, it's work, but like the games themselves are great. It's just they're from Japan, so grinding is built in. So what were you gonna say, Cluze?
Yeah, Cluze.
So could I take a moment to wax poetic about Dark City for just a minute?
Yeah.
So, there's a really good chance that the things I'm about to say are probably not right because I'm viewing the whole thing through, God, I don't know, 25 years of haze. I remember that when Dark City came out, I feel like we were mostly starved for any kind of actually interesting or thought-provoking science fiction or fantasy from Hollywood. I recall it being kind of a desert around that time period.
When did it come out?
That's what I can't quite recall, which is why
like 96 or 97, right?
Yeah, it was in the late 90s sometime.
98.
Wow, that late?
That was more recent than I thought.
I still knew it was right before The Matrix, which was 99.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was right before The Matrix.
I just remember it being such a breath of fresh air compared to the rest of the crap.
I do too. Mom and I really dug it because back back then, that's when Mom and I would go to Block. The old man was a truck driver. He would leave Sunday night and come back Tuesday night. And then he'd leave Wednesday and come back Friday. So we would go to Blockbuster, rent 4 movies, and then watch 2, and then watch 2.
That means that Fifth Element is older than Dark City.
Yeah, it does.
That's weird. Oh, well.
The other great thing that Dark City had
7,
going for it was Jennifer Connelly pretending to be a lounge singer. And, I do love films where Jennifer Connelly pretended to be a lounge singer because I got a thing for Jennifer Connelly.
And lounge singers.
And lounge singers. Yeah, now that you mention it. I mean, I am a big fan of the music of the 1940s. So that whole kind of vibe was just perfect, quite frankly.
Are there people who don't have a thing for Jennifer Connelly?
I don't know. I think for me, it started in Labyrinth, I think. I think that's the earliest film I ever saw with Jennifer Connelly. And it continues to this day, is what I'm going to say. And my wife is totally okay with that because she also has a crush on Jennifer Connelly.
I said, are there people that don't? That's weird to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. We call those people wrong.
Take that, opinions.
Yeah.
Ow. See, Pinball Witch says so too.
You're damn right.
So what else are we talking about?
I don't know. Surely I got something. Everybody watch The Expanse. I think I've only ever talked about that in Odds and Ends. I don't think I've talked about it in a show proper when the chat was all here. But The Expanse. You should totally watch The Expanse. It's really good. My favorite thing about The Expanse is that they just do physics and they just don't tell you why they're doing it. They just do it. They don't over-explain it. It's just, here, we're doing a thing. We're not even going to tell you why, but it totally makes sense physics-wise. Physically. Yes, Professor Physically. Yeah, so I suggest The Expanse.
Oh, right. I'm supposed to tell you guys about chicken pizza.
Oh, yeah, you are supposed to tell us about chicken. Yeah, tell us.
So, for context for the chat, the other day I sent a message to Chewie and Cluze and I said, next time we're on a chat together, remind me to tell you about pizza chicken. And whatever you think it is, it's not that. And so, like, you know, Cluze made a comment about, is it pizza for chickens? Is it a restaurant staffed by chickens who provide pizza? And I'm like, none of these things. No, pizza chicken is not chicken as a topping on pizza. It's, in fact, the pizza is on chicken. Because when I was going through my keto freezer food, as we've gone further and further into this, I found a pizza that I bought a while ago, and the crust is made of chicken. So it has no carbs in it.
What?
It's just crust made out of chicken. And so it's like a pepperoni pizza using a crust that was forged of chicken. And it was actually pretty good, but it was really strange. Like, because, like, amazing. You know, you get it, it's frozen, you put it in the oven, it heats up, and then you cut it or whatever. And it's just like you pick up a piece of chicken. It's like, it's all flat like crust. It looks just like crust, but it's made of chicken.
Topping on it.
And it's got like cheese and pepperoni and sauce on it. And like, because there's no bread whatsoever, the only carbs come from the pizza sauce. So it's not a lot.
Huh.
It was very unexpected.
So the thing you have described to me sounds absolutely delicious if you ruined the entire keto part and put it inside of like a bun.
You could do that, Cluze. They sell buns.
Yeah, I know.
Well, but not now, but in other places, in other times, there was bread.
Once upon a time, they sold buns. Yes.
Like, you could probably just make this and then put buns on it. It'd probably be amazing. But yeah, like when I first started doing keto a few months ago, I bought a bunch of things to try, and then that just ended up being in the bottom of my freezer. And I found it when I was going through the quarantine food, And I'm like, oh, hey. And like, I didn't realize at the time that it was chicken. It just was low carb pizza, which usually means like cauliflower or something else was used to make the crust. So I'm like, whatever, I'll follow the instructions. I make it. I start eating it. I'm like, why does this taste like chicken? Is the pepperoni chicken? I don't understand. And so I went and I looked at the box to see like the breakdown, and they're like, toppings, pepperoni, this much, cheese, this much, whatever. And then crust, it just is chicken. And like a few other things that were used to make the chicken turn into crust. But chicken is the primary ingredient of the crust. And I'm just staring at this. I'm like, well, that explains the taste of chicken. And then I walked back over, and then I picked it up, and then I looked really closely at it. And like inside the crust where I've bitten it, you can see the sort of lined texture that you see when you bite into chicken. And I'm like, my God. Somehow this pizza is made of chicken.
Soylent Pizza is chicken.
Done?
I mean, I'll probably buy more of it later just because it's so weird. But
yeah, now I wanna actually try this thing.
yeah, dude, it was interesting. Like in general, I found that the keto thing has been way easier than I thought it would be, and it's obviously been nice right now because the main drawback of keto is the fact that it's harder to go out to eat with people. But no one can go out to eat right now. So hey, cool. But, you know, it's been pretty effective for losing weight and getting rid of hunger. And it's definitely not for everyone. Obviously, like, you know, determine what works for you and don't drastically change your diet just because. But for me, it worked pretty well. I lost 40 pounds since January 2nd. I am not fasting. I'm just eating. But when you're limited to 20 carbs a day, you're only going to eat so much. But I'm not doing the fasting thing where like you just don't eat for a few days. I'm not doing any of that. So like, you just saw me eating ice cream.
Chat just said I don't get keto at all. So explain what keto is, just in case anyone's, because he's not. Squee there isn't any sort of person trying to sell you keto supplies or anything.
No.
This isn't a multi-level marketing scheme.
Well,
Yeah, no,
it's not
just
Atkins nonsense. They're not trying to sell you. Like, there's no they, first of all. But like there are plenty of companies that are selling keto compatible stuff because there's a market for it. But what it boils down to is your diet is that you cut sugar and you cut carbs down to a very small amount. And when you don't have a lot of carbs and sugar in your system, your body is going to burn the carbs it has because that's what they're for, like their energy. When it runs out of carbs to burn, it starts burning fat because that's what it has. That's why you have fat. And when your body isn't replenishing carbs, it just continues burning fat. And so being alive is burning fat. And carbs are absolutely delicious. I do not disagree with that at all. But like when your body is only burning fat and you've got enough protein that, you know, you're obviously like still alive and functioning and all that stuff, because you can't just live on like stored fat. Like that would be terrible. You just burn the fat that you have and you continue to eat. But the thing is, like, you stop getting hungry, which is the weirdest thing, because it's like a life hack or whatever. It's like a body hack. Your body's like, well, I've got food, so I guess I don't need you to be hungry now, because it's learned how to eat, you know, the food that you ate years ago and have just been hanging on to. And it's been pretty neat. Once you stop getting hungry, you have to remember that you need to eat. Like, that's a weird experience. Like, there were several times where I'm like sitting here and I'm like, I think I've got a headache. Why do I have a headache? Oh, right. There's like 80 calories in me and it's 6 p.m. That's probably related. And then you get up and you eat something and you're fine.
Now, one thing I will point out while we're talking about this here, if you're going to try this sort of thing, do be somewhat careful, because that sort of activity internally is not great for some systems of the body. So make sure you are otherwise healthy as far as, you know, kidneys go, for instance.
Yeah, there are definitely also like I wouldn't tell anyone to do it. I would tell them to maybe consider it an option and converse with someone who actually knows your body, your situation, your nutrition.
Oh yeah, talk to one of those kind of doctors. Although not
Definitely
right
talk
now,
to
they're
them way
all
more than
really
me.
busy.
Like, I don't even pitch it to everyone because I don't think it would work for everyone. I have friends that are doing it and they're having a much harder time than me. So I'm like the good example. But I also am comfortable eating the same food over and over again. Like, I don't need a vast variety of food. If I have like 6 things to choose from, I'm good for months. So this is pretty easy for me. But there's a bunch of substitute things that work pretty well. Like, I've been eating this ice cream for a little bit, and it's measured, and net carbs. And the thing is, you're allowed to have more fat and less sugar. So the ice cream that I eat doesn't have a lot of sugar, but the cream component is way up there. So it's like that top little bit of ice cream when you first like get, vanilla ice cream, the part that's like all soft and creamy and whatever. That's what it is all the way down. And that's absolutely amazing if you like that, even without the sugar. So I like that pretty well. I miss potatoes because there's no substitute for potatoes. People who tell you that are lying. Cauliflower is not potatoes.
Nope.
People try to do that. They're like, oh yeah, cauliflower. You just put a bunch of butter and garlic on it. And I'm like, yeah, I could do that with anything. That doesn't make it potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah, that would not be a recommendation.
What about rice? Have you found a rice substitute? Because I love rice.
I just don't eat rice anymore.
That's
like
sad.
There are rice substitutes, but I don't have them.
Yeah, that's my deal breaker right there.
Like, there's something that I think it's called like better than rice, which is a bold statement. And its entire deal is that it's nothing.
Not better than rice.
It's nothing. Like, it's actually effectively nothing. It's something that's not digested. So you eat it for the texture of rice on top of your other food, and then eventually it will leave you.
That actually is mildly disturbing.
But there's not like anything to it. Like, for the most part, you also just stop storing a ton of water, so staying hydrated is important. Because like that's what carbs do. Like, when you don't have carbs, your body's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I just don't have that water right now. So that's why when you hear people doing keto, like the first few weeks, they're like, whoa, I lost all this weight. It's like, you just lost most of the water you were hanging to. Just like if you had started exercising, but you didn't. So like, you have to stay hydrated. You have to make a point of it. That's important. Like, you should be hydrated anyway. Like, that's not even unique to this, but water's important. You have to keep your sodium levels higher because you're not, storing things. So there's a bunch to it. It's been working really nicely for me. I think it's pretty great. Each time I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm just going to do this for a little while and lose some weight, and that's great. And then eventually when I hit the point of where I want to be, I'm going to reintegrate other food. And then if I ever like start gaining weight, I'll just go back to doing this because you can. But it's not like a forever thing. Like, I don't think it's the kind of diet that you're supposed to sustain forever. I don't think that it's a good idea to do that. But I've been doing it for just under 3 months now, and I'm at the lowest weight I've been since 2016. So that's neat.
Nice.
I have effectively burned Trump weight. All of the weight that I've gained since Trump. Not bad for 3 months.
It has not been a healthy 3 years.
Oh, looking at my food chart and seeing how much I started eating around mid 2016 is very telling. Yeah. So this is more just a thing to do for a little bit longer, and then I'll start integrating other food back in.
Hey, can I talk about haircuts in the post-apocalyptic wasteland that we now find ourselves?
And the inability to get them because they're not an essential service.
Because I really need a haircut. It's killing me.
Hmm.
But
are you feeling warmer at all times?
Wait.
Yes.
I just have to point out in the chat.
Yeah.
Eric of many names has just appeared.
What?
Wow. Holy
crap. Hey, buddy.
It has been a while, dude.
Okay, keep going, Cluze.
Yeah, so haircuts. So I bought some hair clippers, and I think I'm going to try and give myself a haircut between now and next week because I just can't take it anymore.
Oh,
So, yeah, it may be bad. We'll see.
Now, are you going to give yourself a haircut, or are you going to get...
I'm probably going to get some assistance from the wife, but
Okay.
we're gonna be as self-sufficient as we can. I watched a YouTube video and everything.
Ooh. Do you have
Yeah.
sufficient mirrors?
So I do have a handheld mirror and then a mirror on the wall, and that should be everything I need.
Nice. I look
So
forward to seeing photos afterwards.
I was going to say, if I'm wearing a hat next week, think nothing of it.
Like, Cluze, it's really warm. Why are you wearing the hood up? No reason. Okay,
Yeah,
Cluze.
no, not at all. It's totally fine.
You're like, Aya Cthulhu Fatagan. We're like, right.
Oh, yeah.
It's April.
Cluze became a
That's
Cthulhu
right.
cultist.
Right.
I forgot.
Yeah, no, I actually love getting haircuts. I always feel that the world is better after a good haircut. The problem is I haven't been able to get a good haircut for, I don't know, 6 months now because my barber closed. And I haven't found a new barber.
I got my last one in mid-February, so I think that's the best I was going to get for a while.
I got one just like during the whole coronavirus thing, but before it was weird to see other people ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like to go and interact with people ever. So I don't know. Was it the beginning of March, maybe? Something like that?
Sounds right. March has been the longest month ever.
Oh my God. It has been a long 6 months since February. I said that to my mom yesterday, and she goes, It is still March, isn't it? And I was like, right? Okay, maybe not 6 months. It's been like 3 months since February, though.
Was it Emma Handy who pointed out that at the beginning of March, we still had like 8 candidates for Democratic president? For your sense of time?
10th thing just said, remember 20 years ago? Back in November? Right?
Oh, man.
It's just been crawling.
I'm looking forward to that last Star Wars movie that's going to make everyone happy.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder how Mandalorian's going to go. My nerd friends are talking about The Witcher, but like, I mean, when has a video game adaptation been good?
The Witcher's really freaking weird. I think I've got 3 episodes left.
But you don't know because time is weird.
I think 6 is next. I can't remember, but it's really freaking weird. It trips me out that I took it till I got a hint of it in episode 3 and then figured it out completely in episode 4 that the stuff I've been seeing happens in vastly different time periods. That's not a spoiler. I just helped you.
Yeah.
It's like
when you're done, you can look at the timeline. You'll be like, yeah, okay.
Like it keeps but there's no indication of it at all. Like we ranted about this, I think on an odds and ends or something from a few weeks ago. But it was while we were playing Overwatch.
That sounds right.
There's a big difference between trusting your audience to figure it out, which I like, and trying to pull one over on your audience and drip feeding them information, which I think is what The Witcher's doing.
I hate the Abrams approach to storytelling, and that's what that is.
Like, I really am enjoying it, especially once I pieced all that together, and I'm like, wait, what? But I still don't know. I guess once I get to the end, I'll know. But at the moment, I'm like, I love Henry Cavill. Like chat just said, and Superman is The Witcher? No. I see The Witcher when I look at Henry Cavill. I don't see Superman at all.
Same here.
Like,
now go look at him with the Photoshop lip. It's funny.
Because he was never Superman to me. Not really. He just wasn't.
Man of Steel was not a good movie.
Man of Steel was all right. And what is it? School of movies
Batman
called
v
Beavis
Superman?
Dodge. Beavis Dodge. Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
Beavis Dodge was just bad.
It was a very bad movie.
Except for Ben Affleck as Batman. Anyone who doesn't like Ben Affleck's Batman, the acting, not the writing, can eat a dick. Because he was awesome as Batman and as Bruce Wayne. He was awesome. If he'd been in a good movie as Batman, People would have loved it, but he wasn't. He was in fucking Beavis Dodge.
The only one that came out of that movie ahead was Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Like, she got her cool entrance scene with the music playing in the background and was like the justification for sitting through the movie. And then she got her own movie that was great.
It was great. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to her other movie and hoping that it actually gets to come out anytime soon.
Eric, how old is your daughter? Because if that's disconcerting.
A little bit.
I still need to see Shazam, yeah.
I've heard good things.
I think Mom was taking care of Nana when Shazam came out, so I just didn't go see it. And then by the time Mom got back, it wasn't in theaters anymore. We just missed it, and it never streams anywhere that I have.
Okay, 17 explains The Witcher. Yeah.
She's 17? Oh, okay. Yay, boobies. And Henry Cavill's butt. Didn't we see Henry Cavill's butt?
Probably. Yeah, Shazam came out when I was in Japan, so I just missed it entirely.
Yeah. I missed lots of
I haven't seen Aquaman either.
DC movies. Like I saw Aquaman. Mom and I went to see Aquaman. It was really good. I still think you should see it.
I mean, yeah, my problem is that I don't have the DC streaming service.
Yeah, and that's the only place it is, isn't it?
So
I didn't see Shazam. I missed Birds of Prey because, the world was about to end.
I did see Birds of Prey.
I thought that Aquaman is on one of the streaming services I get, and I've only got Netflix, Hulu,
is it
and
still there?
Disney. I swear I saw it in one of those menus as I was scrolling through them like 2 days ago.
I know I see it when I'm scrolling through Amazon, but it's because they want me to pay money for it.
Okay, that could be it.
It could be on one of them, and I've just missed it too.
Oh, do you have HBO, Cluze?
No.
Oh, it's on HBO Now and Go and Amazon HBO.
Well, none of those do me any good.
But you probably see it advertised in Prime.
Okay. That's probably where I saw it.
Yeah, I don't have Prime anymore, and I'm beginning to get bummed out by that when people keep saying, watch The Expanse, it's on Prime, and I'm like, eh.
Yeah, you should watch The Expanse. It's on Prime.
I don't have Prime anymore, Clue.
Yeah, I know. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, like I saw Birds of Prey in a nearly empty movie theater because I'd realized it was about to cycle out, and it was just before we were all in Super Plague Fear mode. So I went on a Tuesday with a friend, and we caught it right before it went out. And my opinion of Birds of Prey is largely that there are a lot of really good scenes in that movie, and that movie existed to make those scenes happen. As a story, it's kind of all over the place, but it was made for those scenes, and I don't really feel that great about most of the not Harley Quinn characters. Just because, like, if they didn't use comic book names arbitrarily, I would have been fine. But that was one of the things that rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I can understand saying that it's an anthology of stories put in a single movie. To me, it was more, they wrote a movie and the pacing was garbage, so they resorted it Quentin Tarantino style, and then they had a movie, but I don't know if it benefited from doing that. But yeah, like, if you enjoy it, that's totally fine. Like, it's valid. Like, I liked the movie. I just didn't like that aspect of it. That's a big rating party.
Holy crap.
Wow.
Freshka just rated us with a party of 50.
Welcome.
What is
Hi,
up,
I'm sorry we're gonna
Freshka and
disappoint
his
you.
Raiders? Let's see. Freshka, were you playing Legends of Runeterra still, or was this something else? Is that what you're playing now? I think that's what you're playing now. None of them are chatting though. He's just brought them all over, and they're like, "Who is this idiot?" No, which I'm cool.
Yeah, they're
with.
like, just chatting. That's not a game.
That's not a game.
Which is fair. That's a fair response on Twitch.
Oh, you were playing a
Hearthstone,
Hearthstone. Wait,
Alright.
patches tomorrow. What patch is tomorrow? On the
The
first?
patch.
Oh, the Demon Hunter patch is tomorrow. Is that tomorrow, really?
Da-da.
Oh, the Runeterra patch is tomorrow. Oh, okay. I just play Hearthstone. I don't have time for all the artifact and crap. Demon Hunter's the second. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, because it's on a Thursday, which makes little to no sense. Yeah. I don't even know. Legends of Runeterra, that's the Dota one, right? No, the League of Legends one? League of Legends one. Or is it something else? See, I don't even know. I don't even care.
That is not.
It is League of Legends. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, not Dota. That's Valve. That was Artifact. And and they're like, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna make it better. And people are like, whatever you say, man.
Good times.
Yeah, we are just sitting around talking about stuff because what little bit of magic news there is, we honestly don't care about in the slightest. So we're just skipping Monday Night Magic and we're doing this.
Apparently, we're talking about movies.
Pinball Wedge just said Artifact is back in Pog form. Oh, like Alf.
Just like Alf.
Okay.
So, do you guys think we're actually going to get movies for a while? Because I don't imagine most of them want to direct release on streaming.
No, although some of them have, and I haven't decided if that's a great idea or a terrible idea. It depends on which part of the industry you're in, I suppose.
I think if you're at the end of the industry that, for the most part, was planning on making its money in syndication and streaming rights, then this is great. Because a lot of them just got the theatrical runs on the premise of you're expected to. But, like, for the big blockbusters, there's no way they can afford to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not expecting to see Wonder Woman or Black Widow or any of that stuff roll out on this level. I just don't expect that to happen. Like, I guess in some weird nerdy way, we're fortunate that we got to Endgame before this. Because, wow, would that have been disappointing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that would have been awful.
To some extent, I have to be honest, although I really like watching movies and I really like the movie theater experience, it had gotten to be such a hassle, and I'm not even going to say all that expensive because I live in the Midwest. I know people in big cities are all like, oh man, going to the movies is so expensive. But look, here, not so much. But the idea of being able to capture at least some of that theater experience in my own home is actually really appealing to me. Is that just a sign I'm old?
Not really. Like, the home experience is a lot better than the theater experience in a lot of ways. Like,
yeah, I mean, if nothing else, look, some of these movies, okay, first of all, editing is a lost art form. Some of these movies need a damn editor. Okay, they're just too freaking long.
When a lot of them are very long, and the ability to bathroom break is nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when it's like 3 hours long and I just drank my like $7 soda from the counter there, I kind of got to pee like an hour and a half in. Could we just maybe hold up for a minute? The ability to pause at home is just invaluable.
Which is the same as valuable.
Yes.
Sort of. It's like flammable.
It's inflammable.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just jumped in there.
I like going to movie theaters as a social outing, but I never do it by myself. I appreciate the fact that when you're in a movie theater, everyone's watching the same movie, as opposed to kind of watching the movie, kind of looking at phones, kind of doing whatever. Like, just in the movie theater, we're all actually watching the movie.
I mean, unless you're going to the movie theater that Alex Shaw goes to, where apparently people are just sitting there watching stuff on their phone in the movie theater. And
yeah,
yet
but that's
somehow
they know it bugs him.
And somehow he doesn't get up and murder them all.
Which is amazing.
Like, yeah, for the most part, when I go to movies, like, I'll go to Alamo Drafthouse, where if people make noise, they get kicked out. And that's really nice. Just in general, that's a good experience. If their phones are on, they get kicked out. Like, they just have people that are like, hey, out. And like, they know that that's the experience that people want to have. So that's good. But like, going to movies is expensive. Especially if you're getting food or drinks or whatever.
Wait a minute. Gloppy Rocks just said the last time I went to the theater, I saw the last half of Cats followed by the last half of Star Wars. Now, if you'd said the first half of Star Wars, I'd have been like, all right, that's weird, but okay. But
Does that mean you were so offended?
What?
Like, because that means you didn't see the first half of either movie. So you're really bad at jumping theaters if you didn't see the first half of either movie.
Right? Like I can't even.
Maybe it was like a dare. It's like you compromise. They're like, I dare you to see Cats. You're like, oh, I can't see all the Cats, but maybe if I see half of Cats,
Like the back half,
like the second half, because there's a greater chance that at least one of the cats will be dead. Spoiler alert: they're all dead. Enjoy. Cats is weird, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get the story behind that. That is a good use of emoji. I'll give you that.
Okay, you wanted to watch
wanted
Cats,
to watch
but you needed
Cats.
to eat. So you ate, then got a ticket to Star Wars, which was starting then. So went into Cats, watched that, and then went into Star Wars.
That's fascinating. Oh,
Gloppy, honey, I think you might have forgotten how movies work.
I don't know if you actually missed that much of the first half of Star Wars. I don't actually know if it impacted your ability to follow the movie or not.
I mean, you missed the opening crawl, which is where the wait, what happens. So
Yeah.
but let's not start a holy war over Star Wars, because that's
fair.
what happens these days with Star Wars.
That is how you do. Yeah. Was not my thing.
I kind of like these streams where we're just talking about stuff and I don't have to show the screen, because I've been able to make a thumbnail and get a video posted while we've been doing this. It's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
We are,
doubling up on my
however,
time.
rapidly approaching 11, and I'm probably gonna punch
11
out
what?
not long after.
Oh,
that.
o'clock. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
11 o'clock.
He's commenting on the fact that we're rapidly hemorrhaging these raiders.
Yeah,
Rapidly
that's-
approaching 11.
I mean, that's what happens with
Yeah.
when someone raids, is people are like, I don't want to watch this, and they leave.
Which
That's
is fair, because that's not why they're here.
Pinball
They're
Wits
here
through
because
50
they were
bits.
abducted.
Pinball Wits through 50 bits said you also just made 50 cents. I did.
Nice.
Oh, dude, blood in the sand.
So we both went the same place, huh? Because I was like, so does that mean me and Squee are going to split it 50-50 on 50?
I mean,
I have no idea what that's a reference to. I'm sorry.
50 Cent is a rapper.
I know the 50 Cent is a rapper. Yeah, sure.
And Eminem and Dr. Dre sort of co-discovered him, and there's a song lyrics like, me and Dre split it 50-50 on 50.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm
unaware,
referencing a terrible video game.
I was unaware of that lyric.
And then St. Sagal threw 100 bits and said, but what about O&E posts? Look, I have to get caught up and ahead on videos before I can spend time working on those. And since I've got 6 hours of Ashes of Outland set review videos I have to get through, it's going to take until those are done.
Chewie's at work.
This is, yeah. This is where I
Yeah.
work. I was sitting here since I woke up this morning, and around about, I don't know, whatever time I said so in the Discord server, I'm like, I'm going to go for a walk because I'm losing my mind.
That's fair.
Got up and took a walk.
Like, I was
I
sitting in
feel-
this chair until like 7, so I get you.
I feel a lot better, like, brain-wise, now that I've started just going out and taking a walk every day. I make like 3 laps around my apartment complex. I'm not so, like, angry and fatalistic and beaten down by existential dread. So, hey, give exercise a try if
Oh yeah.
the the existential threat is getting to you. It might help a little.
And then you got 1,000 bits.
And then that was 1,000? Oh, hey!
Nice.
That's Saint Saga with 1,000 bits. So yeah, we love you anyway. Aw, I love you too. Mwah. Thank you. It also trips me out that not one of the raiders, other than Freshka himself, has said anything. That's just weird to me. You think someone would be like, I'm out, idiot, or something.
They're clearly idling for Overwatch drops in the wrong place.
Clearly, yeah. Can you get just chatting drops? Is that a thing?
They're just hanging out here, and it's just like, oh, they're like just chatting. Like you get the brand new Cluze skin.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. Like you can get it in Smash Brothers. He's got a science cannon.
I do have Cluze in Smash Brothers, yeah, and he does have a science cannon.
Checks out.
Oh, Pinball Witch through 10 bits said, well, you're getting just chatting bit drops. No, not me, you guys.
Nah.
Is that a thing? Ow. You know, where you watch a stream and get stuff for watching said stream. I've done it a lot with Overwatch. Possibly nothing else.
I don't know what channel points do still. Like, it has menu options, and I see them, but I've never used them.
Well, you also don't hang out on Twitch at all, so.
Well, I have 12.9K of them.
Don't go spreading that around, man. People be coming for your channel points.
Can they do that?
I have no idea. Let's just assume so, just to be safe.
Like, I don't edit emotes, and I think that's mostly what it's for. So, I need to make a Chewie emote with, like, a monocle.
I think that's an option.
Not on your eye.
No comment.
Yeah.
I can't spell the word.
I see the little button, so I click on it, but I don't do anything other than click on redeem points. It's like a much worse version of Cluze's cookie clicker. But, yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell you what. You guys want to wrap it up then?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Wise.
Yeah. It's weird. It started off as Chewie and Cluze talk about stuff, and then it became Chewie and Cluze and Squee. Nope. Chewie and Squee talk about stuff.
I'm sure, man. Joint custody.
And then Robot Squee happened right at the end, and it was
Beep,
really
beep,
weird.
beep, boop, beep, boop,
Yeah,
boop.
here's the thing. You're both roboting for me, too.
Well, that's awkward.
Beep, 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 bop, beep, boop, boop.
Beep, beep, boop.
Hubba, hubba, zoot, zoot.
Excuse me.
Emotional
All right. Well, since
jump.
we're all roboting, it's probably a sign that we should stop. So, hey, chat. And the later YouTube people, I guess. Hey, thank you, Saint Seagull, for the 100 more bits. Yeah, we're gonna stop now. So everyone, continue to be safe. Stay the fuck at home.
Wash your damn hands.
What? Wait, hang on.
In fact, hold on. We're going to get this ready. I think you need to make a ringtone. Wash your damn hands.
Wait. I want to see. Where's Monday Night Magic? Here we go. I want to see when. Okay. The episode of Monday Night Magic entitled Wash Your Hands was from March 3rd.
Nice.
Been that kind of month.
Wow.
You know, I'm willing to bet the children that were conceived at the start of this month are like in high school now. They've never known any other life.
I think several of them are running for the Democratic ticket.
Oh, that's not working.
Hey, Eric, I'm glad that you were able to show up. And Freshka, if you're still here, buddy, thanks so much for the giant raid. That's very awesome of you. Sorry you guys got here at the end and we're boring, but you know, whatever. And Pinball Witch threw 20 more bits. Said, wash your damn hands. A bit for each second you need to wash them for. And she threw how many bits?
20 bits.
Yeah.
That's right. Just sing the theme from Flood in your head while you're washing your hands.
The theme from what?
Flood. Am I going to have to hang up this call? Because I'll do it.
I don't know what that is.
Okay. There's a band called They Might Be Giants.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not.
They made an
they
album
don't do anything for me.
called Flood. It is one of the greatest albums ever made by humankind.
Or
Okay.
possibly giant kind.
Or possibly giant kind. That's
We
right.
don't know. They might.
It might,
And
yeah.
the theme from Flood is approximately 25 seconds long. So start it when you begin to wash your hands, and when you get to the very last ending where they say flood, that's when you actually rinse your hands.
I've been doing it to the theme from the X-Men cartoon.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because then you're washing your hands and you're like, it's more exciting that way.
Huh. What about Mask? How long was the Mask intro? Oh, don't wash your hands to the full intro to Pee-wee's Playhouse, because it was like a minute or a minute and a half long. And if you do wash your hands that long every time, you'll probably be doing damage.
I'm already doing damage, and I'm just washing them the 20 seconds. I just do it a lot. And so, hand cream.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, we appreciate everyone coming to hang out with us while we just talked about random nonsense, because we need this too. We're not like, well, I guess we should just not do a stream tonight. No, we need the human contact as well, and this qualifies. Like, this is a thing that is good for all of us. So, yeah. Well, Cluze might not. He's quarantined with his wife, but I know Squee and I don't have anybody to talk to during the day.
I just talked to all my coworkers.
During the day, I don't even have her to talk to because she's on these conference calls all the damn time. So.
Well, yeah, but she'll come back though. See,
It just means it's your job to stand on the opposite side of the camera and just go, but without the noise.
No, yeah. It's usually my job to have lunch ready. So in the 45 minutes she has between the meeting that started at 10 and the meeting that starts at 1, she can eat.
Also, I'm not going to lie, I'm enjoying how pixelated I am on the stream. And I'm just doing all my Zordon bases now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my internet. I think it's me, since both of you guys are screwed up.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Rangers.
But oh well. Right, so as I keep saying, thank you all so much for coming to hang out. We appreciate it. Everyone, please continue to be safe. Stay the fuck inside. Wash your hands. And yeah, that'll do it. So yeah. Bye everybody.
Goodbye.